Hello Forkies, this is day 46 of me playing chess every day until I reach the rapid rating of 2500. So here we go. We have the game, we have the white pieces, so let's play pawn to e4. What will my opponent do? Pawn e5, symmetrically, knight f3, going into main lines. And my knight f6, okay, so this is the first Petrov's defense of this kind of path towards 2500. So d6 is the best move, knight takes, pawn, d4 followed by d5, and now bishop d3. And I know pretty much of theory here. Bishop d6, castles, castles, and yes, that's what I know. So, no, c4 is the best move, c6 I believe, and then something. So this is the main line. No knight c6 variation, so now c4 I believe is the correct option. But I'm not sure. Definitely I'm not sure about this. Maybe rook e1 inserted and rook e8. Now, do I want my rook to be on e1? I mean, that's the theory, right? Rook e1 and rook e8, and then c4 c6 happens. But I played c4 firstly. Bishop f5. Well, if I'm recalling this one correctly, when you play bishop f5, I can play queen b3, and then after here takes, I take the bishop. Yes, queen b3 now. And if takes, I think I take here. I'm not. I don't know actually. Maybe queen c2 was also a move. And then rook e8, knight c3 takes. Oh no, my rook is hanging. I mean, not hanging here, but okay. And yes, I must say that the Petrov defense is usually a. I mean, I cannot say that it is a draw, but usually it ends in a draw, and it has a very solid reputation, if you will, and it is usually played by the lower rated people from the black side. But of course, Fabiano Caruana has also played the Petrov's defense with a big success rate. So of course, it usually shouldn't lead to very sharp positions, but it is usually leading into some sort of positional lines, into positional maneuvering games. And I think my positional skills are above average players from my level. And of course, with this move queen b3, I'm attacking the two pawns actually. I'm also attacking d5 and b7. And knight a6, yes, I remember this theory. Actually, I do. And I don't know what to do now. Knight a6, I know you cannot take this pawn, it is too risky. Just takes. I know knight a6. Well, but in my head there is something when knight a6 is played, you need to play queen b3 actually, so maybe I was a move too fast. I don't know what move that would be. But now I'm simply thinking that I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking I'm winning now. Why? Because if takes, queen takes, I'm attacking the two pieces. I don't see a defense for my opponent, but I also know that taking the pawn is usually not the correct move. But I mean, oh, of course, what an idiot. What an idiot. Of course I'm not attacking the pawn, because bishop h2 and my queen hangs here. I mean, how old are you to miss this tactic? Oh, imagine. So now I think knight c3 is actually the best move, and now then bishop takes. And the knight is actually trapped. I mean, it can go to e4, but it loses a pawn, so knight c3. That's the theory, yes. Queen d takes on c4, I think is met with queen takes on b7? Perhaps queen takes on b7 was a legitimate option. And of course we'll analyze the game when I'm finished with the game. We'll analyze the game afterwards. And of course I will also play the move queen takes on b7 in the analysis bracket. In the analysis part, as I said, we'll see if it was a bad move or it led into something that won't be very good for white. I'm not sure, I mean, I remember studying these kind of positions when c4 and c6 are played. This is, I believe, known as the Staunton variation or something like that. And of course, it is a very, very theoretical opening. The Petrov defense, of course. And yes, I mean, there are some tactics like sacking the bishop and then playing something like knight g5, winning the rook back or something like that. And I know that taking the c4 pawn is also not a very nice way, actually, let's put it that way, of handling the position. Because bishop takes and I get this diagonal, this knight is misplaced on e4 when not supported by the pawn. And now I'm threatening to take the pawn once again, because after c takes on d5, queen takes, there is no bishop takes because I simply take. And after takes, oh, I am defending the queen on d5. And yes, this might very well be something my opponent should have studied before. And I think he has, but he is not remembering what to do. And this is a big theme in the opening part of the game. Of course, many people try to study a certain opening and study all the possible variations. But when you come to the board, when you see the exact same position you have studied earlier, that doesn't mean you will know the move. And that's usually my problem as well. I have studied a lot of positions from the rule of PS, and yet I still don't know that after knight b4, b3 is a mistake. Or something like that from the yesterday's game, which you can find on my channel, of course. So now knight c3, I guess taking is the best, but after bishop takes, your knight has 0 squares. I mean, it could go to e4, but then I simply retreat my bishop, take here, I am up a pawn. And my rook is very active on e4, these two pawns look really nice here. But I think there is some way to equalize with the black pieces, or maybe my opponent was already equal and I missed some of the potentials with taking the b7 pawn, for instance. But yes, I mean, this is very complicated, so I don't say I am better in this position, even if he takes the knight and I take the bishop and we get into this endgame. Yes, I should be the one battling and trying to prove the advantage in this position, but that certainly doesn't mean that I will win the game. And of course not easily at all. So even being up a pawn is not that much winning at something else. And I recently, like 1 week ago, I had an overboard classical tournament game and I was up a pawn, but then we traded one set of rooks. It was actually a rook endgame, and I simply couldn't prove the advantage in that resulting position. I'm just calculating if I'm really attacking the pawn now, because I mean queen takes, there is knight takes, and if I take back, then he still has bishop takes on h2. Excuse me, I was interrupted by this tactic. So I mean takes, queen takes here, I probably can take the bishop threatening checkmate, and after g6 something like queen h3 and the knight is trapped here, right? Or maybe it can go to d5 back, so maybe something else like queen a5 and the next knight should be trapped. So I'm sorry, I was telling something, I can't remember what. Oh, that was the rook endgame, right? But okay, bishop b4 played, which looks incredibly funny move to play. You played bishop d6, now you're playing bishop b4. But I guess this is a very good move by my opponent. Bishop b4. The idea is I am pinned here. I cannot take the knight with the knight because he simply takes my rook. And or maybe plays this thing first. But what if bishop takes? If bishop takes, a3 takes. I mean, I wouldn't give up my bishop that easily. So the first thing I should be considering is probably to play a3. Why? Because bishop takes on c3 is probably forced. Although there is also the move bishop a5. So let's firstly calculate bishop a5 because it is a very strange move. And I see that it is probably just losing. Because I take on b7 now. Attacking the knight. If knight c7, I play b4. After b4 there is knight takes. No, there is not because I take the bishop. So bishop a5 is simply not a very good option here. So after bishop takes on c3, which is the only other move if you play bishop e7 for instance, I mean I just take here and win the pawn. So a3, bishop takes on c3, pawn takes on c3 is forced. And what is going on in that position? I have these two double pawns on the c file, but I think I'm happy with those because they are really like stabilizing my center. They have a gigantic control over the center, and this knight is still kind of pinned to this bishop. So knight d6 perhaps, and something like takes, and probably my opponent has equalized already after takes, bishop here for instance. Probably the position is balanced, but I guess a3 is the best move. I don't want to play that move so quickly. There is no knight takes, bishop takes, knight takes, pawn takes. There is nothing for me there. So a3, yes, let's play a3. Or quick check if I'm missing something after a3. Takes is something I wasn't really calculating, but after bishop takes, threatening bishop takes, rook takes, knight g5, but knight e5, winning the rook, should be fine. Takes, even if I don't sack my bishop, I should be fine. After b5, bishop d3, knight takes. Oh yes, a3 knight takes is something I wasn't really calculating yet. And I think it needs to be very calculated. Oh my goodness, I'm speaking that horrible. But a3 pawn takes, probably the best move. The two bishops, the two pieces are attacked. Bishop takes, simply queen takes. Or maybe a3 takes, I could take the bishop as well. And then yes, two pieces are attacked and I win the game easily. If knight e2, I simply take it. There is no rook to hang anymore. So a3, bishop takes will be played instantly, I believe. Yes. Now pawn takes, of course, only move. Now c4, I don't think it makes any sense. Giving me the whole center here. Wow. Knight to c5. Wow. I completely missed this move. Sacking the knight. Wow, it is nice. I was only thinking about knight d6 and I spent 3 minutes and I missed this resource, which is just amazing. Kudos to my opponent for doing this. Just incredible. And I need to take the knight because otherwise, if queen c2, then I just lose probably. If bishop takes, knight takes, I have nothing there. And after knight takes, probably queen c2. No, queen c2, just knight takes, I guess. I go queen b1, yes. I don't like this. probably screwed up the position now. Insane. Not knowing the theory hurts. It really hurts. So takes, knight takes, and I mean that's the only move, right? So takes, knight takes, forking me again. And yes, you know me, I am fork chess, but now I'm getting forked. So please guys subscribe for me to kinda survive this position. It would really help me out. So no. My opponent wins a pawn, my opponent just deals me so much damage. I just spilled myself. Oh my goodness, even my mouse is wet. Come on. Oh my goodness. Sorry. I'm spilled all over the place. So, oh my goodness. Ugh. Let's find a move. Queen b1 or queen d1. Probably the exact. Let's play queen d1 and probably this is just lost. Knight takes here. Also, my pieces are really weird here. I just got spilled by myself. What? Fork up and I still got spilled. Amazing how I did this. Oh my goodness. So rook e3, I was thinking here. Takes. Takes. If takes. Oh my goodness, this is so bad. Queen a4, b5. So here probably I need to take with the queen to get some counterplay. I mean, where to put the rook, it doesn't quite matter. So just rook e3 probably. If knight takes, I mean, then the c4 pawn is hanging officially. I will be down 2 pawns, which is probably just not survivable. I guess knight takes. Oh, you can just take this. Of course I missed that as well. But I have knight d4 now and there is no bishop d3. And I have maybe some attacking potential with this bishop here and this rook on h3. So bishop g6 I don't think is the best. It allows h4, h5. As an idea, if h4, queen takes, rook h3, bishop g6 played. I mean, now everything is defended, so maybe rook g3 takes. If here I guess I do this, but it doesn't quite help me. h4 queen takes though. Rook here. Queen f6. I still have 0 attack. But I wanna push h4, h5. So what about g3, right? It seems odd, but it... Maybe just queen g4. Queen g4 looks nice. And then h4 and h5 and rook here. Yes, let's go. Queen g4. Let's go to attack. Ah, knight f5 perhaps. Of course, it is just lost. The position is probably lost by the computer. But who cares what these scumbag computers say about my position, excuse me. And you guys watching at home, please some sympathy. Sympathy, that's the word I was looking for. Sympathy for me. I just got spilled all over myself, so please subscribe. It would help me to overcome this trouble that I'm having now. I'm just kidding. But yes, you can hit that subscribe button below. It would help me out. So yes, here there is a way to blunder with queen d7, knight h6 check. This is what I was showing you. But even then the position, I mean, it is lost for black, but I mean my position is not good. So h4, I was thinking about f5 for my opponent, but it looks It looks probably just fine. If f5 will be played, then I'm just screwed up. Here, bishop takes his only move, because if check, then the knight is hanging, but it's not now, because the bishop is because the bishop is protecting. So I can't really sacrifice my knight here. But if rook takes, I am okay. I mean, I'm not okay, but I wouldn't be down so much material. But probably after queen takes, rook takes, I mean, that's not good. So we will see. f5 is probably the best move. Otherwise, no rook e8, but rook e8 allows me nothing, yes. Because he's threatening the check here, which is kinda annoying. But if rook takes, bishop takes, why not h4, h5, still knight f5, h4, let's go. h4 he'll probably take here. Then I will take, takes. I have this good knight. Oh no, you... But now I'm getting developed. I mean, it's not easy, but I will try to attack my opponent. I will try to rook lift my rook, of course. And we'll see. And of course, we'll analyze the game afterwards. h5. So cold-blooded move. Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh my goodness. But I don't think it is so good move that I'm now saying. It is so. Queen f3 here. I mean, queen g3 or queen f3. It looks like queen g3 allows me a bit more. So let's go queen g3. And it also kind of prevents the knight to get out, which is kind of okay. Now c5 is probably the best move. But c5 I go here, here, with the bishop or with the knight, perhaps. And maybe even c5 knight e2. But then the knight get traded off, which I don't like. I could go to f3. And then e5 is also protected. Oh my goodness. And I'm just spilled all over myself. So. Okay, queen g3 was played. Probably my next move will be bishop g5 if allowed. Or, wow, I'm also might threatening f4, f5. Here and bishop h6. But then g6. And I go here, here and mate. That won't happen, but it might. And my opponent spending some time. He's winning by the computer. I'm pretty much sure of that. But I'm not sure how to make good moves in this position. I mean, you cannot touch the f-pawn never. I mean, not that you would, but you cannot really move the bishop. I mean, you can, but I play bishop h6 then. Or maybe queen a5 is nice move. It doesn't really threaten anything, but it prevents some things like f4, f5. Now just bishop takes. Knight takes, queen takes. Although f4 still I would play this move almost always. Why? Because I'm threatening f5 actually. Bishop takes. f4 and then rook f1 and then f5 is a threat. So f4. Come on. Come on. Oh. Let's pretend that I saw the move queen takes pawn on c3. Let's pretend. That's the best thing to do. It was a gambit. It wasn't a blunder. It wasn't a blunder. If I tell myself this like 10 times, then I would consider the move f4 as a sacrifice, not as a blunder. It was a sacrifice, not a blunder. I'm willing to give away this pawn and lose the game. I'm completely aware of the threats. But actually, now that I look at it, queen takes on c3, rook f1, f5. You cannot push f5 yourself. f5 here, f6 here, and here. How are you preventing the mate? And suddenly, probably queen takes on a3 is the only move, and then queen f8. But I think that I'm seeing a great tactic. I have knight here, preventing the queen to go to f8. If you take, I push f7. King needs to go here. You take. Wow, I play rook f1 quickly so that my opponent thinks this was a sacrifice. The knight is defended. f5. f5. Let's go. f5. Bishop h6. f6. Threatening checkmate. Oh, you can play bishop g6 there. Oh, you... Well... But this looks bad. Now f5. I mean, of course it is winning. f5, g6, here. 5, bishop h6, also a threat now. g6, and here. No, what am I even saying now? What am I even saying? But I'm threatening takes. So then bishop takes probably. But then my knight is hanging. But knight e2 and then queen e5, it's still a blunder. Or maybe a sacrifice, giving queen away in one move. That might be a sacrifice as well. But not if I do it. If Hikaru does it, then it is a sacrifice. But if I do it, then it's not. I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm not. But okay. My opponent down to 4 minutes. I have 6.5 left. And f5 was just played. Threatening, I guess, threatening bishop h6, g6, and... And what? Then takes. Bishop takes. I mean, if g6 now, I could just push and then simply go here. So here, bishop g6 is the only thing it worries me. After, if nothing happens, f6, bishop g6, I don't think his position is bad. Not at all. Just takes, king takes, perhaps even, maybe not forced. And I'm down 3 pawns. So probably I would play bishop h6 in this position if it was my move. But it's not yet. My opponent spending a lot of time, which might be a very good sign of his nerves. And yes, of course, if you're wondering, we both get 10 seconds each every move, which might be a lot for someone. Queen c2. Queen c2. Are you threatening to take and then take here? Not at all. I mean, you should be okay then. But I mean, if you do that... Now f6 is of course only move if I play bishop here. Simply queen takes on d4. f6? No, it check. Wow. It check. Shit. f6, yes. g6 here. Fine for my opponent. So f6. I mean, what could I possibly do? There is nothing I can do. f6. My opponent's spending some time here. Of course, bishop g6. Oh, if bishop g6, then he's not attacking here anymore. So g6 played. Wow. I mean, you're clearly going for this, but how can I not allow you to do this? Probably here. Here and here. Here, if you take, I go here. You can go here, here, and here. You are in time. So here. What if I don't take? You know, here. You have one and only one move probably that saves you. So you could probably take here and then take here. So probably I'm just lost here. I mean, if you take, there is also the move rook f2, knight takes, bishop takes, but queen takes. Here. Here. Knight here. Here. I take. Here. Here. It's a draw. Oh, the bishop. The bishop defends. Oh my goodness. Come on. Come on. I mean, queen here, you probably will take. Am I correct? If you take, then I have a game. If you go here, then I also probably just fine after knight e8, knight e6, excuse me. Pawn takes f7. King here. Bishop here doesn't work because of the knight. But probably it works because of queen h8 here. Bishop here. And then I promote with check and I win the queen here. So let's go for the move queen to g4. If you take here, I mean, I am up a piece for four pawns, which is quite bad. It's not losing, probably not yet, but of course only my opponents can win because I only will have 3 pawns and my opponent will have 2, 4, 6, 7 pawns. And yes, that resulting endgame will be hard. Not just because I am down 4 pawns, but also because they could be just connected and these 2 pawns are just passers. Well, technically probably this backwards pawn, I mean, it's not a backwards pawn, but it is a doubled pawn, so it cannot go in front of this pawn, so it's technically not really a passed pawn, but you get the point. So here I played the brilliant knight e6. Takes f7, here, bishop g5. You could play here, which I of course missed during calculation. Here. Rook takes, and I probably am surviving due to some checks. Maybe I have also some checks like queen h7 and then something. My opponent down to 50 seconds and he might very well take the a3 pawn. And after knight to e6 he will probably be shocked. Of course. Wait, after knight? Yes, you take. I will show you all the things I was calculating in my head during this time. But we are in this endgame now. And how to evaluate this endgame? Well, I have literally no idea. Probably just here. This looks like it makes sense. I mean, not that sense is important in such endgames, but what do I know? King f3. Knight c2, probably my next move. Knight check, also logical. If I go here, here, I lose. I mean, not certainly, but I probably do. So I go to g2 maybe. e2 here. Knight c2, not that bad. Probably not that bad, right? Yeah, so let's go to e2, make some progress. Knight here, knight here, knight takes, king d2, maybe rook e1 and king here. Might be something. Knight c2. And the pawn is defended, but rook e6 probably loses, yes. The pawn, but I could go king here, takes, and then take here. It's not the best, or maybe you can't even take the pawn. You can't take the pawn, that's for sure. And even if here, then there is check. Yes. Here takes. Let's take b6. I can take it though. And then here probably. And then yes, check. Okay, where to go? Probably to c1. Oh, and c5 happens. Here, but you can't really king c1, yes, and c5. Rook a6 on the way. Yes. Wow. Rook a5, not allowing rook a6, I guess. Knight e3, knight here. I'm probably just lost here, but I don't care. I mean, I do care, but... b5. Wow. There is a way to lose the game, but probably it's not even lost. Knight here, knight here, knight here. Wait, knight here, probably I can take, takes. Oh my goodness, that... What is the material count? He's still up only 4 pawns. Only 4 pawns. You get what I'm saying. Rook a6, I can take here, takes. King b2. Bad position. But I'm threatening knight d5 takes, rook takes and check and go here. And I know how to mate with knight and oh wow. And a bishop, excuse me, I was interrupted. So if he's threatening my rook, I mean he's also threatening knight e2, so the only move is to play rook f3. Knight e2 and here. Rook somewhere. No, not there, because c3 happens. So probably to here, yes. You go back. You go back. Well, what about just playing here on again? Just repeating moves. I mean, I'm okay with a draw. And I'm threatening 95. No, I'm not. Not anymore. So is this endgame survivable? Probably not. Wait, there is a chance this endgame is actually okay, because I will pick either of the pawns. Is this the best I can get out of this endgame? Most likely. I will be down 2 pawns, but one of them will fall eventually. Let's do it. Let's do it. Rook takes. Really, I'm missing something. But this is a threat. This is also a threat. Rook a6 I can take. I was calculating this. Takes here, but I take this one. And then I take this one. Oh, you just take. You don't... Oh, you do take. But this is okay for me. This is just okay for me. Now I'm okay. Why? Because if one of these pawns will fall off... Oh, you could go here. But check. No, I just picked the pawn. Wow. I'm okay. We survived this endgame. And you know what? With 18 seconds, I would argue the only one who can win this endgame is actually white. Of course, that's completely not true. It is a draw. And I mean, a 3-year-old should be able to draw this game without any difficulty. Just rook c5 next. And this is just a draw. Will my opponent play on? I don't think he will. I will offer him a draw now. And he accepted the draw. Nice. So let's game review this game. Obviously, right? And we'll see how accurately both of us played. And that move f5, I don't think it was a draw then. Wow. So let's just so yes, I played with 84% accuracy. My opponent played slightly higher with 84.7. Let's analyze the game now. It was e4e5, and after knight f3 I was thinking about going into the rule of S, but now my opponent surprised me, kinda surprised me, with knight f6. Now takes knight d6, takes d4, d5. This is all have been played before. Bishop d3, bishop d6 is the main line. And after castles. Now c4, yes, this is the... Oh, this is actually a theoretical move. Now pawn to c6 is kinda only move. And rook e1 was played. Now I was pretty much sure rook e8 is the top move, which is true, and bishop f5 is also played. And now queen c2 instead of queen b3, or queen b3. Yes, queen b3 is the best move, but I mean queen... Excuse me, what? Where was I? Just load previous analysis. No. Then I need to do this one again. Excuse me for that. It should be just momentarily loaded. Here it is. So I was thinking about here queen b3 and queen c2 was also a move. And after knight a6 I was remembering this theory, and knight c3 I played it. It was the best move. Now bishop e4 is a mistake, but my opponent spent like 5 minutes here, maybe 4, and I played the move a3, which is a mistake, of course. I mean, of course, I thought it is a good move, but I'm simply losing after bishop c3, bc3, and the brilliant knight e to c5. Attacking, and when I took the pawn, knight takes on c5 happened. Queen d1, another losing blunder. Wait, why if bishop takes? Bishop takes is winning for me. Oh, of course, because of bishop e3. I mean, this is logical. Whew. And let's here. One more move ago. Here, a3. Instead of a3, I should have taken the pawn, forcing bishop takes on c3. Now b takes on c3, and if takes, what happens then? Bishop a3, and I am much better here by the computer, but of course. After queen d1 here I was just lost. Knight takes, rook e3, d takes, Here, I was trying to attack my opponent, and he played rook e8. I played the move h4, and now he took, which was kinda surprising enough. I thought he will take here, and he will take then here, which is of course completely winning. Now I don't even have the bishop anymore to attack his king here. So he took, I took back with the bishop, of course, and now h5. Very nice move, of course, stopping me from playing h5. Now queen g3, queen a5 was played, which was nice move, but I'm attacking you, so queen takes on c3 was... I missed that he can take on c3, if I'm completely honest, although I called it a sacrifice, a gambit during the game, but f4 is just... I missed that he's threatening the move queen takes on c3, but even if I would have seen this move, I would probably still play f4 because it is a very logical move. Queen takes on c3, rook f1, threatening b5, f5, excuse me, bishop e4. I don't like this move because I play f5 and now this bishop is out of the game. Now queen b2 was played, trying to maybe trade queens, maybe pick up the a3 pawn. Now f6 and g6 was played. After g6 I played queen g5. My opponent took on g2, which is a draw by the computer probably, minus 0.8, which is hard to hold. Of course, queen takes is forced, bishop takes, king takes. But if he were to take the a3 pawn, it is a draw again, and I saw why. I would sacrifice the knight here. And wow, you cannot even take because you're losing after f7. It's mate. King f8, queen h6, king e7. Oh, you can just wow. You can promote into a bishop. I don't know why I was going to play bishop g5 here. Because I'm just an idiot. Bishop g5 is losing, yes. But he took on g2. And after queen takes, bishop takes, king takes. Rook e8, I played the move king f3, knight e5. And king e2 was a mistake. That is probably losing now. Knight g4, knight c2 only move. Rook e6. King d1, I was playing quickly so that my opponent will get low on time. He took the pawn, of course, which is free now. And now he is up 5 pawns. 5 pawns for one piece. After bishop takes on a7, I gained a pawn back. But after knight e4, king c1, my king is very passive here on the first rank. After c5, I played the move rook f4, which was a mistake. b5 was played, which is the best move, wow. Knight 3. Knight g3, rook f3, knight e4. And I shouldn't have repeated the move, but I did with rook f4. And after f4, I played a very... I mean, probably not logical move if you haven't watched the whole endgame. But it is logical when I tell you that I played the move knight takes on f5. And g takes on f5, I took the pawn, and now this pawn is hanging, and this pawn is hanging my opponent down to 30 seconds. And the only winning move is to play b4. And now that you tell it like that, I mean, of course b4, just creating the two passers, you will probably mate me on the first rank, but my opponent played rook a6, and here this is just a draw. Taking the b5 pawn is much better than taking the h5 pawn, because you are eliminating these double passed pawns. And after rook h3, just a draw now. Nothing there. My opponent played on for few more moves. I offered a draw and my opponent accepted the draw. So yes, guys, this was game of the day 46, if I'm not mistaken. I drew, and if you have anything to tell me, please write it down in the comments below. I will be reading and answering all of your comments. And if you like the video, please consider subscribing. It will really help me out. And see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.